justice for women and girls, as well as to other central concerns such as environmental and peace activism. She has also been a patron of the arts, a love shared with and nourished from childhood by her mother. A firm believer in the importance of political action on behalf of social change, Nancy Ruth ran unsuccessfully for a federal nomination in 1988 and then ran twice for a seat in Ontario's legislature 1990 and 1993, but was defeated both times. Over a decade later, and to her great surprise, she was appointed to Canada's Senate by Prime Minister Paul Martin. She devoted her 12 years in the Senate to unrelenting advocacy on behalf of social justice issues, particularly those that affected women and girls. When she reached mandatory retirement age at 75, she was lauded by her fellow senators as a woman of steely determination, a crusader, and fearless advocate on behalf of the causes she championed. By that time, her work in the public sphere and her contributions to social change had been recognized by numerous honors, including the Order of Canada, the Governor-General's Award in commemoration of the Persons case, and 4 honorary doctorates from Mount St. Vincent, York, Trent, and Laurentian universities. I first met Nancy Ruth in 1994 when I was on the Women's Studies Steering Committee at the University of Windsor, and she accepted an invitation to visit our campus. We, of course, hoped that she would make a donation to our Women's Studies program, but we also hoped to be inspired by an outspoken feminist who shared with us a common cause. We got the inspiration, but not the donation. A few years earlier, she had endowed the Nancy's Chair in Women's Studies at Mount St. Vincent University in Halifax, and her loyalties remained with that program. As fate would have it, my own career path led me in time to Mount St. Vincent, where I became president and vice-chancellor in 2010, and soon after renewed my acquaintance with Nancy Ruth. She came to our campus in 2011 to celebrate 25 successful years of the Nancy's Chair, and we met from time to time in Ottawa, where she was now a senator. Acquaintance deepened into friendship as I learned more of her life, her struggles, her remarkable achievements. When our retirement dates converged in 2017, we agreed that I would write her biography. I believed hers was a story that should be told, and Nancy Ruth knew from hard-won experience, growing up in a patriarchal household, the importance of bearing witness to the truth that women's lives matter. In preparation for writing the biography, I have been given full access to all of Nancy Ruth's records. My first visit to her basement archives taught me that, even as a child, she must have cherished a hope that one day her life would be worthy of attention. The materials I found there are extraordinary. Diaries from the age of 12, love letters, decades of newspaper clippings, and of correspondence from others, as well as copies of her own correspondence. Speeches, copies of articles she has written, photographs, legal documents, family papers, political campaign brochures and buttons. I soon found myself tracing the arc of a life lived with emotional intensity, one in which self-examination and reflection were daily habits. Her archives also reveal a complex web of social connections. She is an extrovert who has a wide network of friends and has devoted countless hours to nurturing her friendships. Over the years, Nancy Ruth has been written about regularly in the print media, and many of these articles and sketches depict her as larger than life. News clips and television programs such as CBC's Man Alive and National Treasures have sometimes homed in on her more outrageous moments, or presented these moments in an outrageous way. It is true that she often chooses to be blunt rather than subtle, and many of us have relished her outspoken voice as we hear it speak truth to power. Yet hers is a voice equally capable of careful argument and nuanced reasoning, reflected in the myriad speeches and addresses on women's